What's up, metalheads? As the horns clash and everything comes into fruition, we're going to review the new album that just came out today on April 14th on Blackened Records, which is Metallica's own record label. How about that? They got their own record label and their own record pressing record pressing plant. I can't even say the word. So in other words, they can make all the records they want, man. They can just sit there and just hire a bunch of slave kids for like 10 cents an hour and have them just shoot out a bunch of records. Anyway, child labor. 72 Seasons. It came out today. It's the 11th studio album by Metallica. It was produced by Greg Fiddleman, the guy who did Hardwired, which kind of gives me an idea and a reason why it probably sounds similar to Hardwired. Not the songs. I mean, honestly, I think there's way better songs on here. Then again, I am just now listening to it. I've heard it just one time so far. I give it a full listen. I took down some notes because we're going to go through each song, and I'm going to give just a little bit of a breakdown of what I think about each song. And then I'm going to pick the song I like the most so far, like my favorite. Because, when you first hear a record, you have the song that you love the most, the first song that hits you the most. And right now, it's one song, I'll reveal it at the end, that I like the most out of this little collection here of 12 songs. How many songs did Hardwired have? I think it had, because the reason why I didn't like Hardwired too much, I mean, I like it. It's a good album, but it's the kind of album that just sort of lost its steam a little bit down the road. Maybe I need to hear it more, but I just feel like it's too long because I'll put it on and by the time I get to the second disc or whatever, it's like side C, it's kind of already lost me. Like there's a lot of good tracks. And again, I think here's the problem that bands are doing right now. And Metallica, they're just as guilty of it. They're releasing like 4 or 5 singles like months before the album even comes out. And by the time the album comes out, we've already heard most of the album. And then everyone's all excited. It's out. It's release day. They're doing interviews. They're doing all these promos, blah, 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 blah. And then watch this. And this is probably going to chart on the billboards pretty high. It's probably going to get into the top 10 or whatever. Might even hit number 1. But then what's going to happen? About a month later, no one's going to talk about it. Of course, they're going to be on tour. They're doing a big tour where it's like a 2-year tour. Doing just weekends only, 2 different sets, 2 different opening acts, which is really cool. But my problem is what's going to happen is this album's going to just sort of fly away into the wind about a month from now because they put all the singles out ahead of time. What bands should be doing, listen to me, all you bands out there, the older bands. I'm talking about the bands that we grew up on and even newer bands. Stop releasing so many singles before the album comes out. If the album's coming out in August, like I think Wolfgang Van Halen's album's coming out in August, he's already released 1 song. That's cool. He's probably going to release 4 or 5 more before it happens because it's so far away. But what he should have done and what any band should do is just release 1 song about a month before the album comes out. Like 1 song, 1 video, whatever. And that's it. Maybe 2. And then when the album comes out, then start releasing videos and singles and just to keep the freaking thing going. LA Guns, they have their new album to drop today too, I'm waiting for it to get it so I can do a review on it. I love LA Guns, especially what they've been doing lately. Their past 4 albums has been really good since Phil and Tracy had gotten back together. But they're kind of playing it smart. I think they only released maybe 3 songs before the album came out, which is pretty cool. And I would imagine they got more up their sleeve once the album is out. So what bands need to do, though, is just stop releasing the whole album before the album even comes out. Because in that way, it's more like when we get it, we're like, hell yeah, this is great. And then, oh my God, a new video just came out a month later. And wow, it ignites my interest again into the album. So yeah, so come on, bands, get with it. So I'm gonna break down, there's 12 songs. This is a two disc, but here, look at the packaging. I really like the packaging. That's why I'm wearing these glasses, because it's a freaking bright yellow. It's like summertime. And I live in Portland, Oregon, where it's always raining. So this is the only sunshine I've seen all freaking past month so far. We haven't even seen spring yet. It's been raining every day since freaking winter supposedly ended. Anyway, I do like the inside. Look at kind of like a crib. This is kind of cool though. It's got this, the lyrics. Ba 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 ba. Okay. But look, it's kind of cool. See their faces, but it's like they're in the crib. I don't know what that's supposed to signify. Maybe it's an angry baby after a nuclear holocaust or something. Just freaking broke out of the crib and just started destroying everything. Maybe this baby was a nuclear X-Men or something, like a mutant baby. Charles Xavier was out of town and couldn't control his mutiny. Look, so this is actually disc 2, which is side C and side D. But you got Trujillo. Oh, these are great photos. There's Lars Ulrich looking all serious. Trujillo looking all serious. This one's kind of funny. Look how sad he looks. Nobody likes me. Everyone's making fun of my Lux Arterna guitar solo. I don't know why. I thought it was the greatest solo ever. It is a good solo. I love the solo. I don't know why people are dogging it. We'll talk about that later, though. Look at James Hetfield. He looks like, diabetes. I'm just kidding. It's the mustache, dude. Diabetes. If you got diabetes, you call this number. Call whatever they call Medicare. Anyway, yeah, James Hetfield. He's looking kind of old there, right? He's probably like a little bit older than me. I'm 54. He's got to be 60 probably. Anyway, so yeah, good packaging. I really like the packaging. I kind of wish it had a little bit more stuff, but yeah. What can you ask for? Just get out there and get physical music. Go out there and get the CD. There's probably a cassette now because the cassettes are coming back. Yeah, so let's go through it. So song titles. Okay, it starts off with the opening track, which is 72 Seasons, a title track. Great song, great opening freaking song. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to judge each song by horns. Horns up, right? So 4 horns up, 3 horns up, 2 horns up, 1 horn. If it's only got 1 horn, it's going out the door, man. You need to skip that track. If it's got 2 horns, skip it, or you can just let it kind of play and just ignore it. 3 horns, it's good. Keep it going. 4 horns, it's definitely a killer ass track, okay? And it's not skippable. Like, so 3 horns to 4 horns, not skippable. 1 horn to 2 horns, skippable. All right? In my opinion, anyway, because music is subjective. So something I love, you probably hate it. Something I hate, you probably love. 72 Seasons, opening track. It starts out, it totally reminds me of something that I've heard on just the way the guitar sounds. It's got this cool riff. I'm not gonna hum it because you just got to hear it. And but it reminds me of something I've heard before. But from right off the bat, it sounds. And then when the beat kicks in with the drums and everything, and then that one main riff, it sounds like Blackened. It sounds like something off in Justice for All. That's the feel I got from it. It's got a very cool beat change. It's very classic Metallica sounding. Like I said, it's got somewhere between Justice for All and Blackened album. You're gonna notice I might mention Justice for All a lot because this whole album, which I'll get to the final summary of the whole album, has a very Justice for All feel to it. Except for you can hear the bass for once, on this one. They actually turned Robert up pretty good, man. His bass is fucking killer on this album. Yeah, so I'm gonna give 72 Seasons, the opening track, 4 horns up, definitely not skippable. Okay. Shadows Follow. Cool title. Shadows Follow. Where are they following us to? Another great sounding opening, classic Metallica sound. It's almost got a Masters of Puppets kind of feel in the beginning. Then it kicks into like almost a Justice for All album kind of feel to it, which is good. Okay, I'd rather, like I said, I would tell people this all the time. They cry like, man, they'll never be like Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning or Kill 'Em All. That's never going to happen, man. You know why? Because they switched the guitar sound. I don't know. And there's some songs on here that if the guitar sounded like the guitar in Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning, they would probably rank in that era of just great classic Metallica sounding songs. But there's something going on with their guitar sound. It's just, it's not bad. It's heavy. It just sounds a little bit thin, like a little bit watered down a little bit in some areas. But anyway, this is another Justice for All sounding feel. It sounds like the Metallica that we've all come to love, especially when they got after Master Puppets and they got into Injustice for All. Because there's a lot of people that love Injustice for All. Me, it's a good album. I get bored of it when I hear it nowadays. But I remember back in the day when it came out, I loved it. And plus, it was the only time I saw them in concert was on that tour. It's got a really cool little melody in the chorus. Like the chorus is kind of hard and straight to the point. And then all of a sudden it's got this cool little melody that kicks in. I really like that. That's one thing I love about Metallica. is that they're not just all, you know, they're throwing in these cool little melodic phrases that kind of gives it that flavor that it needs. And so killer track. I'm going to give this one 4 horns up. Not skippable. Okay. Move on. There's 12 songs. We're two down and 10 to go. Third track, Screaming Suicide. I know you've heard this already. You've seen the video when it came out a couple of weeks ago. When I first saw the song title and I didn't hear the song, I was kind of thinking, okay, this is going to be like a Fade to Black sounding, because they haven't had a song like that in a while, like a really good melodic, mellow song that's like Fade to Black, maybe like Welcome Home Sanitarium. I was kind of expecting that kind of a feel. But instead, it was, you know, it kind of has a, let's see, what is that? What did I write down? But it's very similar to Lux Eterna, you know, the very first single that came out. It's got that kind of where it stops and then you got the standalone riff, you know, whatever it does, you know. But then when it kicks in and the verses kick in, it's just a very upbeat, straight through forward song. The lyrics have a lot of meaning to them. I didn't really study the lyrics too much, but I would imagine it's about screaming suicide. Maybe it's about, you know, you're just having these thoughts of suicide, and it's just, and maybe that's why the song needs to be so energetic and upbeat, because it's like, it's the rage of those thoughts, you know. And like I said, I'm going to go back and, I'm not a psychiatrist, you know, I'm an alcohol and drug counselor, but I'm not a psychiatrist. I leave that to the professionals. Ha ha! Anyway, very cool song. You know, the intro to the song, the way it starts, and that's what kind of killed it for me is when I very first heard it. It was the intro. It was very kind of annoying sounding, because it does this kind of weird little guitar melody over these faded chords. And it just didn't fit. Like, you know, you're thinking of suicide, screaming suicide, and then just the way it starts, it kind of sounds happy. Like, I don't know. It was very annoying. But then once it kicks in, it's a very killer song. But because of that intro, I'm giving it 3 horns. Still not skippable. But you have, you know, you have every right to skip it if you feel. I just wouldn't skip it. I probably will skip it after a while, because it's going to be one of those songs you're going to hear a lot of, hear all the time, you know. Kind of like Teen Spirit from Nirvana, where you just get sick of it. Sleepwalk My Life Away. That's the, what is it, the 4th track I think it is that we're on. So on the record, on the vinyl, there's 3 songs per side. So the 12 songs, which is, they were very clever to do 12 songs. They knew they were going to release vinyl, because everybody loves vinyl now. So they did 3 on each side. And so it comes out all even. So anyway, so Sleeping My Life Away, I believe, is the first song on side 2 of the first disc. And this, I've been, forgot to read off like how long these songs are. The first song, 72 Seasons, is a 7-minute song. And I think Screaming Suicide was like 4 minutes. Lux Eterna is like the shortest song, like 3 minutes, you know. So Sleeping My Life Away is 6 minutes and 56 seconds. This is the video that they dropped today at the day of the release of the album. I love this song when I first heard it. It's got a very, kind of reminds me of Danzig meets Black Sabbath. It's got that just sort of, that kind of dark and doomy feel of that. Nothing too exciting in the verse. It's got a kind of a cool chorus. It's got a really cool guitar solo. I love there's a part where he's kind of descending on a scale there, and it kind of sounds like something I've heard before. Sounds very familiar. I'm trying to place it. It almost sounds like he took it from somebody else. I'm gonna get you, Kirk. I'm gonna find out where you snagged that little melody from. But and if not, then it's all good either way. Because it's a good song. It's the only thing I have about this song. I'm gonna give it 3 horns, not skippable. But the reason I'm gonna give it 3 horns, because it gets a little bit redundant after a while. Because for the length of the song being almost 7 minutes long, it's kind of a, you know, it's a little bit what can I say? Repetitive. Next song, You Must Burn. Now this song is 7 minutes long. And what I mean by that is it's 7 minutes way too long, because to me, this is kind of like, I'm just going to get right down to it. It's only 2 horns. I'd skip it. You can let it play because it's so long. It could be just kind of background music while you're beating off or something, or I don't know, brushing your teeth if you're going to brush your teeth for 7 minutes. You can't beat off to it because it wouldn't be good porn music, you know. Anyway. Woo! What did I just show you there? Anyway, from the beginning till about the middle, it's very, That's what I put. It's very, You know, when people do to try to insult you. Yeah, it was, you know, you know, but it does get a little bit, like the chorus is actually kind of cool. I like the way the chorus, I like the message of it. It's like, question yourself, you must learn, you are the witch, you must burn, you know, so something like that. But anyway, so it's got a good message. It's just kind of a drawn out song. Again, it's one of those songs you'd put on and probably kind of forget about it after a while. But I do like the title, You Must Burn. Yeah, let's move on. The last song on the second disc of side 2, or the first disc of side 2, Luxy Turner, Luxy Turner, yeah. I love this song from the very beginning. I loved it when it very first came out. I was thinking, wow, this kind of sounds like when it goes, when it does that little hammer riff or whatever, and when it stops, you know, that reminds me of something that you'd hear on Kill 'Em All. It's just not the guitar sound, of course, but it does sound like something you hear on Kill 'Em All. It actually sounds like something you hear on the Garage Days, because it kind of sounds like all of the bands that Metallica was inspired by, that they actually did covers of on that Garage Days album. It kind of sounds like that. It sounds like they took their influence of those bands and just sort of infused it into one of their own songs. I love it because it's fast paced. It keeps you going. I love the video because it just keeps your fucking mind just going all over the place. It keeps your attention going. The guitar solo, people dog on Kirk's guitar solo on this for some reason. I don't know why. I love it. It sounds raw and it has a lot of fire to it. It's just, you know, I love when he's doing that shit with his fucking, like whatever he's doing there. It's, you know, I do that kind of shit on my guitar. Just kind of let the shit fucking go, man. I love it. I love this song. It's the shortest song on the album. It's only 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Probably the shortest song Metallica's ever had. I don't know, is it? There's probably shorter songs on Saint Anger. Yeah, which is an album I probably heard 2 times. I tried to like it, but I just can't get into it. Not because of the drum sound. Everybody dogs on the drum sound. No, that's the least of the album's worries. It's just the songs are just so... Every song sounds exactly the same, man. So I'm giving this Luxy Turner. I'm giving it, guess what? 4 horns. Non-skippable. All right, here we go. Crown of Barbed Wire. How's that freaking title, man? That's a cool ass title. Crown of Barbed Wire. You know, obviously it kind of plays on the Jesus crown of thorns. So imagine wearing a crown of barbed wire, you know. I was gonna do that on stage one time, and then the guy from Dimmer Borgir beat me to it, or he somehow raped my mind and got into my brain. And I guess this is way back when they were just hitting the scene and getting popular. And I used to do this thing where I cut my chest on stage, you know, with shaving cream. And I thought, well, shit, what I'd like to do is wrap myself in barbed wire and just start fucking thrashing all over the stage. I would do that because, like, you know, when your adrenaline's running on stage, you don't feel no pain, you know, especially if you have a couple beers in you. Back when I used to drink, you put a couple beers in me and just let the blood kind of flow out because your blood's going to be thinned out. Yeah, I'm just roll around in some barbed wire. But then I saw a picture of the singer of Dimmu Borgir, and he was posing with it. And I was like, fucker, motherfucker, man. But yeah, I don't know if he ever used it on the stage, but still, people would think I got it from him, and that's why I didn't do it. But I'm still claiming that, you know, with my tinfoil hat on, I could swear he must have freaking got into my brain and stole my idea. So, Crown of Barbed Wire. This is a very doomy sounding intro. I like it. You know, they use these fourth chords that I like to use. It's like a power chord, but you're barring the fourth above it or below it, either above or below, whatever the tonality is. Anyway, I love those fourth chords because they just sound very evil and wicked. The chorus is cool, but just a little bit kind of lackluster I was expecting a more fucking dynamic chorus, especially with that title. Kind of a boring breakdown before the solo. Solo is kind of so-so. The best thing about this song is the actual title of the song and the way it starts, and the verse is actually kind of cool. It's just those chords that he uses, those fourth chords. Overall, it's a good song. It's not skippable, but I'm going to give it 3 horns. 3 horns. Something happened to this guy's horn. It kind of broke out or something. So yeah, 3 horns. What are we in? We've been talking 20 minutes already. This is going to be a long album review. But what we're going to do, we're going to hear the best song on the album, and we're going to listen to it together, and then I'm going to close it out, all right? So I won't keep you too much longer. Now Next song on the album. This is, I think we're on disc 2 on side C. All right, so we had side A, side B, this is side C. Crowns of Barbed Wire was the first song on side C. I believe this is the second song. I'm holding up my notes. Yes, I'm reading off a script. I'm using backing tracks. I'm not really talking. This is all on a pre-recorded track. Recorded track. See what I mean? No, I can't do that shit like other people. Chasing Light. Very intro versus so-so. So far, 2 minutes into this song, I was just like, okay, where are we going with it? Pre-chorus was actually kind of cool. Kind of something like definitely sounded like something off Injustice for All. There's a lot of Injustice for All sounds on this album. I think that's kind of that must have been what they were going for. Maybe they say, you know what, we got to make up for that, losing that bass guitar on that first album. I bet Jason Newsted's pissed though, because he's thinking, damn man, God, this sounds like shit we'd do on Injustice for All, but they turned his fucking bass up. Those fucking bastards. You know, Jason Newsted's probably punching the walls right now when he's hearing that shit. Okay, guitar solo. So far, the thing about the guitar solos on this whole album, what I've noticed, the most memorable one to me right now is Lux Eterna. Now, I got to listen to the album more, because I'm pretty sure I'll find more cooler ones. But so far, Lux Eterna is like my favorite guitar solo on the album from Kirk Hammett. Yeah. So I'm going to give this one 2 horns. Yeah. Chasing Light is 2 horns. Skippable. Matter of fact, very skippable. The other one was kind of somewhat skippable. This is very skippable. No, actually, I'm giving this one 1 horn. Yeah, this one's super skippable. When it's 2 horns, it's kind of skippable, but not. This one's getting 1 horn. 1 horn! Skippable! Get out of my way. If Darkness Had a Sun. Cool video. I think there was a video for this one. I know they released it as a single before the album came out. What can I say about this one? Great intro. Oh, what I love about this is the way is when they're doing like the and they're going out for a while. But I love when the beat actually kicks in and that snare hits. It's kind of like an off time kind of snare. It's on time, but it's got a cool time change or time signature. It just gives it that fucking kick-ass feel, man. It just makes you just want to, just fucking get in there and just fucking bang your head and fucking mosh that shit. Really cool beat. Another song that could be on Justice for All, powerful song. Probably one of the best songs on the album, I'd have to say, after hearing it. I've heard it probably a few times when it was released before the album, but I definitely hearing it again. This is definitely one of the best songs on the album, so I'm giving it 4. Not skippable. Next song. Too Far Gone. Too Far Gone. Another Justice for All sounding song. Very upbeat. Very cool verse. I like the chorus. It's got a very slightly cool, it's got a kind of a cool punchy chorus, but then he ends the chorus with that kind of a cool melody that I really like, is because the way the chords change underneath his voice. Very cool harmony guitar that kind of made me feel like I was back in 1985. It's just that, the harmonies that they would do on Master Puppets, which was 86, but that whole era of 84, 86, right in line, just the way their harmony guitars sounded, that has that feel on it, the guitar's harmony that they're doing on there. It's a very good song. I'm going to move along with it. It's very classic Metallica sounding, great guitar solo. I'm going to give it 3 horns though. It's not a 4-horn song. Not sure why. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it 4 horns. Fuck it. 4 horns, okay? Not skippable. Definitely a good song. Room of Mirrors. Room of Mirrors. So far, a great intro, but nothing groundbreaking. Let's think about Metallica. They've got these really cool. A lot of the intros kind of sound similar to each other, but they're unique in their own way. This one was kind of sounds like all the other intros, but just nothing. That's why I say nothing really groundbreaking. There's actually a part in the song that actually sounds like they took it from Disposable Heroes. Like the pre-chorus to Disposable Heroes. It almost sounds. I can't mimic it very good with my mouth. But yeah, it sounds like Disposable Heroes. Just listen to it. You'll see what I mean. Room of Mirrors. Listen to the pre-chorus, and you'll hear a Disposable Hero there. What did I say about a guitar solo? Oh, the guitar solo. I was thinking I was listening to Tony Iommi on guitar, man. It's got a very Tony Iommi feel to it. I think Kirk Hammett was channeling his inner Black Sabbath there on the guitar solo. It's a very cool guitar solo. It's a good song overall. I'm going to give it 3 horns. You know, it's not the greatest song on the album. It's one of the greatest albums, but it's definitely 3 horns. Not skippable. Now the very last song, and it's the longest song on the album. Okay, clocks in at 11 minutes. 11 minutes and 10 seconds, as a matter of fact. Now they're getting into Iron Maiden epic song territory. I don't know what their longest song is they've had in the past. This could be their longest. I don't know. I don't remember any songs on Master Puppets or Justice for All being longer. I have to go back and check, but so far 11 minutes. That's a long song. And for being it's just a masterful song. It starts out with these cool sounding chords, and it's very, very Black Sabbath sounding. I mean, if you were to put Ozzy's voice on top of this song, it would be a Black Sabbath song, no doubt. It's the longest song in the album. I like I guess the song I forgot to say the title at the beginning. Inamorata. I never heard that word before. I had to look it up. I don't have the greatest vocabulary. I failed the 3rd grade. I skipped all the way to high school and graduated high school. I'm just kidding. I did graduate high school though, because I needed to get the fuck out of school. So I made sure I got home the best grades I could get just to get out. Anyway, inamorata. It means like a woman with whom one is in love or has intimate relations. So, and I kind of like what the chorus is like. Misery, she needs me. Misery, she loves me. Misery, she kills me. Misery, fills me. So it's all, misery. They say misery loves company, but I kind of like that, the chorus there. Very Black Sabbath sounding. What I love about too, I think this is the song that Robert Trujillo makes his singing debut on it, but I could barely tell if it was him singing. I couldn't tell if it was James. It sounded like he was singing, but you could barely hear him. I'd have to go back and listen, because I know I saw an interview. They made a big deal of it. This is the first time that another member of Metallica would sing on a record, and I believe it was Robert Trujillo's first time. I think they meant all the members. He would be the first one that ever sang, other than James Hetfield. I could be wrong, but they made a big deal out of it. And I remember Robert Trujillo saying that, I went in there with my bass. I did the bass breakdown. And then I went home. I thought it was done. And the producer called me and said, hey, we'd like to have you come and sing on this part. And he was like, oh, my God, really? So he went down there and he knocked it out. And I'm pretty sure they're talking about this song because it's a really cool breakdown. And it's fucking the bass solo he's doing. I wouldn't say it's nothing like Cliff Burton. He's got a totally different style than Cliff Burton. But it gives you that feel. It gives you that feeling that they're showing him the same love that they showed Cliff Burton, to let Cliff Burton shine and be his own freaking force in the band. And, because again, they never really did that with Jason. I mean, Jason was just kind of like there, I kind of feel like they treated him like shit, But I think Robert's working out really well with the band. I think he's found his place finally in the band. And it seems to me like he's going to be long-term. So yeah. So the playing is really good on there, man. It's got a cool bass melodic solo, and it breaks down and it goes back into the parts of the song. It's 11 minutes, There's some parts that could be a little bit redundant, but what else are they going to do? I mean, they nailed it, So, so that's all the songs. So overall, I think it's a great record. Again, I'm going to listen to it in about a month and just see how I feel. Like I said, I listened to Hardwired when it first came out and was, oh, this is great. I hear it now, I'm thinking, it's okay. It's so. A lot of skippable stuff on there. I think this one is definitely way better. That's just how I'm feeling right now, but I'm going to check back in about a month or maybe even a little bit longer. I'll see where it places on my top 20 of new releases at the end of the year. So far, we have some pretty good new releases. We got LA Guns coming out. Right now, I have Catatonia's new album is like my number 1 right now. But this is definitely going to be in the top 5, maybe top 10, Top 5 right now, might drop down to the top 10 as more albums come out during the end of the year. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to a song from the album. And it's the song that I like the best, all right? And it's a little bit of a long one. We're going to listen to the song I was just talking about, Inamorata. I don't think there's a video for this, but we're going to listen to the song off of YouTube, all right? So here we go. From the album 72 Seasons, we are going to listen to In Morata. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Love those chords. I like the lyrics. This is in Morana right here.
Lion supplying the need, shedding and spreading the seed, setting the trap with the thread, spinning the web. Misery, she needs me. Oh, but I need her more. Misery, she loves me. Oh, but I love her more. Misery, she kills me. Oh, but I end this war. Misery.
Fuck yeah, check that shit out. I think it's the part where Robert Trujillo sings. Let's see. Let's find out. I love that. Got a very 70s hippie jam feel.
She needs me, but I need her more.
That could be Robert right there, huh?
Loves me, but I love her more.
Yeah, baby.
She kills me, but I end this war. She fills me.
He kind of sounds like the singer of Depeche Mode.
She's not what I'm living.
Not Dave Grohl, but the other guy. Yeah, I like it. Good job, brother. I love this part right here. Very classic Metallica, Black Sabbath. Get out and get this fucking album, man. It's badass. D2. God, baby.
She needs me. Oh, but I need her more. Misery, she loves me. Oh, but I love her more. Misery, she kills me. Oh, but I end this war. Misery, she fills me. Oh no, but she's not what I'm living for.
When they did the listening party at the theaters, I think this was the video that, one of the videos. Supposedly they made a video for every song. I missed that. I had to work, so I couldn't go to the theater to listen to the album last night in the theater. That would have been so cool.
She's not why I'm living. She's not why I'm living. She's not what I'm living for.
A little bit of Nick Cup. Let's just keep going with our Black Sabbath. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next year on tour for 72 seasons. I love that song. It's my favorite song on the album so far. That and Lux Eterna. I love Lux Eterna. I would have played that song because it's shorter, but you've heard that song a million times. It was the first song that was out. I'm going to give this album, I'm going to finish the video off by saying, this is a solid, it's not a solid 10, it's probably an 8 out of 10, only because there's 2 songs that could be skippable. But then again, that could change. I could hear those songs again maybe a week from now and think, wow, those songs are great. But right now, it's an 8 out of 10, but it's definitely 4 horns up. Okay, so it's definitely, it's a good album by Metallica. It's definitely better than Hardwire. At this point, it is. And again, it's all because it just came out. We got Metallica fever, so of course it's gonna sound great. Until it dies out, then we're like, what the fuck was that? Why was I into that album? Shit, you know. And Death Magnetic, I think that's an album that nobody really, I didn't even know they had. I was in my addiction of alcohol and drugs at the time when that came out. And I didn't even know it was out until I was sober. I was like in 2012, I was like, I think I had a year sobriety in 2012, and I came across it. I was like, what? Metallica released this album? And then and that's how freaking out of touch I was with music and stuff at that time. But yeah, so I'm really digging this album. I love the album cover, the artwork. You know, I love the you get a mask for each one. You know, you can wear these on Halloween time. But yeah, it's bright yellow. I love the colors. You know, it's kind of strange for Metallica to choose this color, but I think I know why they did it, because it's a selling tactic. You know, if it's a science of selling bright colors. You know, we got to go with what colors are popular for 2023. All right, get out there and get Metallica 72 seasons. I gave it 4 horns up. All right. Subscribe to my channel and you know, check out my other stuff. I got reaction videos and stuff. And hey, leave me a comment if you want me to react to a song or a video. I don't care what genre of music it is. I like being surprised. So shoot me some suggestions, man. And if I choose it, I'll give you a shout out and all that good stuff. If you have a business or anything you want to plug, music or an album or whatever, if you're a musician, and I choose that song that you suggested, I'll give you a freaking plug, man. Because I'm all about sharing is caring, and there's enough room on this planet for all of us to shine. All right, so be kind to everybody, be kind to yourself. If you're no good to anybody else until you're good to yourself first. All right, so keep that in mind, and we will see you next time. Horns up, peace out.